Before we begin, I just want to mention that this video contains no spoilers for the Backrooms film, whether you've already seen it or you're planning to watch it later. Imagine waking up in a place you've never seen before. The walls are yellow. The carpet is damp. The fluorescent lights buzz endlessly overhead. Nothing is chasing you. Nothing is screaming. Nothing is even moving. And yet, every instinct in your body is telling you that something is terribly wrong. That's the strange power of the Backrooms. Unlike most horror stories, the Backrooms don't rely only on monsters, jump scares, or violence. Instead, they prey on something much deeper, the fear of being lost in a world that almost makes sense. Today, we're going to explore why the Backrooms are so terrifying and why millions of people find themselves disturbed by what is essentially just an empty office building. Most horror monsters are obviously threatening. A zombie looks dangerous. A demon looks dangerous. A serial killer looks dangerous. The Backrooms don't. At first glance, they look oddly normal. The yellow wallpaper, the stained carpet, the endless office-like hallways. It resembles places most of us have already seen somewhere in our lives. An old hotel, an abandoned office, a waiting room, a school hallway during summer break. And that's exactly why it works. Human beings are constantly trying to understand their environment. Our brains search for patterns and logic. When we see a hallway, we expect it to lead somewhere. When we enter a room, we expect it to have a purpose. But the Backrooms break these expectations. Every room looks familiar, yet nothing behaves the way it should. The result is a feeling psychologists call cognitive dissonance. Your brain says, I recognize this place, while another part of your mind says, no, you don't. That contradiction creates discomfort, and discomfort slowly becomes fear. One of the most disturbing aspects of the Backrooms isn't what is there, it's what isn't there. People, life, response. Imagine calling for help. No answer. Imagine walking for hours. No signs. No doors leading outside. No indication that anyone has ever been there. The Backrooms feel emotionally unavailable. You exist inside them, but they never acknowledge your existence. The world simply continues to be empty. This taps into a deeply human fear. Not the fear of death, the fear of being completely alone. Humans evolved as social creatures. We depend on other people. Even knowing that another person exists nearby can provide comfort. The Backrooms remove that comfort entirely. You can scream. You can run. You can cry. The walls do not care. The hallways do not care. Nothing answers back. And that's terrifying.
Now, while I've spent a lot of time talking about the psychological horror of the Backrooms, don't get the wrong idea. The Backrooms don't rely entirely on empty rooms and existential dread. The monsters are absolutely part of what makes the place so terrifying. Because as disturbing as it is to wander through endless hallways with no signs of life, eventually you realize something horrifying. You are not alone. Or at least, you're not alone in the human sense. One of the most unsettling aspects of Backrooms lore is the sheer variety of entities said to inhabit its countless levels. Some are hostile predators, some are mysterious observers, and some are so bizarre that nobody is entirely sure what they are. Take the Smilers, for example. Often described as little more than glowing eyes and a massive grin lurking in the darkness, they're a perfect example of how the Backrooms weaponize uncertainty. You don't see the creature, you only see the smile. Then there are skin stealers, creatures that imitate human appearance well enough to fool people at first glance. The idea that something can look human without actually being human taps into a very primal fear. And those are just two examples. Across the hundreds of known levels, there are dozens of different species, each adapted to their own strange environments. Some stalk flooded corridors, some roam abandoned cities, some hide in the dark. Others are encountered in places that seem almost safe until they suddenly aren't.
What makes this even scarier is that danger in the Backrooms isn't consistent. Some levels are relatively harmless and may even contain communities of survivors. Others are so dangerous that simply entering them can be considered a death sentence. You never truly know what kind of level you'll find yourself in next. An endless office, a hotel, a subway system, a forest, a neighborhood under an artificial sky, a children's playground, a level that appears completely empty, or a level crawling with entities. And that's where the real fear comes from. Because the Backrooms combine two different kinds of horror. The first is the fear of isolation. The second is the fear of being hunted. One moment, you're desperately wishing there was another living thing nearby. The next moment, you're desperately hoping there isn't. The silence becomes frightening because it could mean nobody is there, but it could also mean something is there, quietly watching. And in a place as vast and unknowable as the Backrooms, you never know which possibility is worse.
Maybe that's why the Backrooms have remained so popular for so many years. They're more than just a collection of creepy rooms or strange monsters. They tap into fears that almost everyone understands: being lost, being alone, being watched, and not knowing what waits around the next corner. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you no-clipped into the Backrooms right now. What level would you least want to end up in?